CEO of the World Floor Covering Association, WFCA. Scott, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How about you, Dave?
I'm doing well, and it's great to have you with us.
Thank
and
you.
now that you've got over a year under your belt.
It still sounds odd for you to call me CEO. I was just noticing when you said that. It's still unique to me. I feel like I'm part of such a good group, and I'm just another member fighting the fight, but it's really exciting. I've had a phenomenal year, got to meet a lot of people. I'm really excited about the future.
Well, the organization has really changed a good deal.
It has.
So talk about some of those changes.
Well, I think the primary change is just in focus. You know, WFCA in the past has tried to be everything to everybody, and so we tried to provide benefits that would impact manufacturers, distributors, installers, inspectors, retailers, and we began to focus in on, as a matter of fact, July of last year, July 8th through 10th, we had what we called a Visioning Summit, and we looked at what's our long-term goal, who do we impact, and how do we really focus in and give more of a rifle approach versus a scatter shotgun approach. And we began to focus on our retailers, realizing that's the majority of our membership anyway. But also realizing that as we impact the retailers, we impact the entire industry because they're the ones that make this boat float. And so we came up with a mission statement that says that the WFCA exists to ensure the success and profitability of the specialty flooring dealer. That can be residential, contract, it's hard surface, soft surface across the board, and to stand up for their common interest. And that has become our defining factor. Every decision we make, we run by that purpose statement. And if it makes sense with that purpose statement, that gives us permission to go forward.
Now, you've been in the retail sector when you were with Shaw prior to coming here for, I think you said, 25 years. So
Yeah.
You're intimately involved with the retail sector. I imagine this has given you a different viewpoint.
It has.
And you probably found things, discovered things that maybe you weren't aware of.
I have. You know, there are challenges that the retailer faces that many of us don't realize, and we'll probably discuss some of those in a moment, like installation and balancing your time between work and family, trying to make a profit in an economy that's very difficult. I think the thing that surprised me the most, Dave, is how hard the people work. I mean, we have great people out there at the retail level throughout this whole entire industry, and I think a lot of industries on the outside don't realize that. These are great people, great hearts, full of integrity, but a lot of them are working at doing things the same old way they've always done them. And we're an industry that is very resistant to change. And I've often said that sometimes getting us to change is like turning an aircraft carrier. You can turn the wheel, and you know you turned the wheel, but you can't see that you're turning yet. It takes a long time to get them there. If we can get people convinced that something different will make a difference, it will impact their success and profitability, then we can get them on board. But relaying that message and getting it across is a bit of a challenge.
It seems like with anything, you're so close. You've got the day-to-day problems that crop up,
Oh, yeah.
and the jobs, and you're juggling act. It's hard to see the big picture, it would seem.
It is. Well, and you say it well, Dave, because one of the big challenges is you have so many owners that are involved in the day-to-day direct consumer contact, and they don't get a chance to step away and literally own their business. In reality, their business owns them. And so part of what we've determined we can do is, first of all, impact your bottom line, but also impact your time. If we can give you tools that make your life simpler, that allow you to learn to delegate and pass some of those issues off to other people who, by the way, even though to you they might be remedial and you would go, "God, I can't pass that on to somebody," you empower somebody else when you hand them a responsibility that you used to own. But for many owners, in their mind, they're going, well, if I give it to them, I'm going to have to redo it anyway and do it my way. Yeah. And we've just got to get beyond that and really focus on the visionary aspect of who you are that allowed you to get in that position in the first place.
It seems like in a lot of ways, you're a larger player. You've got 3, 4, 5 stores, and you're sort of the CEO up here. You're in a better place to really see the world as it exists, other than you're a
single store
manager, single store, and they're coming at you thick and fast. It's hard to get that viewpoint.
Yeah, and I think that's where we've got to learn to reach out beyond ourselves. We've got to look at the other resources that are available in this industry and let them take up some of the slack. Let them become the resources that allow us to take that higher level view.
Yeah. Talk about some of the new initiatives. It sounds like you're in a lot of different directions here all at the same time.
We are. We're certainly focused on anything that will help the retailer become profitable and give them the success that they're looking for. We're continuing to give them tools that will help them battle the big box stores primarily because we've seen the amount of market share in big box stores continue to grow and the number of independent retailers continue to dwindle. That is not a long term that looks good for anyone in this industry. And so our goal is to solidify those businesses, to strengthen them. We've added key vendor partners like David Romano with Benchmark Inc., who literally comes into your business and evaluates it. He doesn't pull something off the shelf and say, hey, listen, this works, we've tried it with 10 others. He creates specifically based on your needs. And so we've begun to bring in these vendor partners. We've begun to create training specific to helping you compete with your competition. Michael Vickers with Summit Learning has created an online module that we'll be launching pretty soon that really is focused just on how an independent retailer can compete with big box stores. What are the differentiators? What are the streaks that you have that they can't afford to have because their business model is not set up that way? And of course, our continued focus on installation, the CFI WFCA training that's going on all across the country, regional events. We've had great response. We've trained hundreds of people in all different product categories, and I got the chance to sit through that in Atlanta and see Jim Walker and Tom Jennings and their crews do such a phenomenal job down there. The professionalism, and we had people with various language. We had interpreters sitting next to people that couldn't speak English, helping them understand what was being said. Those people love what they do, and they're very good at what they do, and it pains me sometimes to hear the reputation of installers because it's unwarranted. We get, if one or two bad people do something, does that identify us?
Yeah.
And the reality is it doesn't. There are great people out there, just like there are in retail. We have to rise above what people's expectations are of us.
I've been to several of these sessions with Robert Varden and Tom Jennings.
Yeah.
And these are hungry people. The thing is, I think the ones you see at these seminars represent the tip of the iceberg sometimes.
There's no doubt.
The vast majority, unfortunately, don't show up, don't want to show up. I'm not sure the why behind it.
Well, there are a couple of whys, Dave. Let me speak to that. One of them is because we have a shortage of installers right now. And so unlike in years past when installers had free time to go to training, now the good installers are busy. So to step away for a few days to be trained is a bit of a challenge. Another of the whys is that there's a cost factor involved. And so if we had mills or other entities coming in and help subsidize so that we can make sure that your product is installed professionally, that would be a big help. And we're doing a lot of that. We scholarship a lot of these people that come, almost all of them that come are WFCA members, and they get over half of their fee is paid for by us because we want to fix the problems that are causing pain to retailers out there.